Lukas Englicky, Wotjek Grzyb, Matthew Parker and Brandon Williams. That's going to be quite a tough event, that. And, well, you've got to be saying that George Lovell was looking very good earlier on. So was Michael Weddell. You can never discount Remy Dransgen. We've seen a win from Lukas Englicky, so we'll just see what happens there. Wotjek Grzyb is showing really well, so goodness knows what's going to happen. As well, that's what we've got the race and the qualifying for, isn't it? So we'll see. They're on their qualifiers now, and they're going to be bringing the flag out. Michael Weddell set the fastest opening lap, and in the 20, Steve Gray completes his, and Steve Gray on provisional pole. Steve Gray fastest. He's been dropped by Grzyb, Wotjek Grzyb. Lukas Englicky is coming to second place. Michael Weddell is into second. It's still Grzyb in the lead. And Parker and Smith. Greg Smith, who was talking up here earlier on after lunch. Brandon Williams there, and Remy Dransgen is only in 5th place. George Lovell is, in 8th place. Slawek Piskorz in 5th. And Wotjek Grzyb is going to be starting from pole position from an incredible Brandon Williams there. Brandon Williams, one of the Covkart Sport champions, is starting in 2nd. Michael Weddell is up there in 3rd, and Lukas Englicky is down in 4th place. Slawek Piskorz is 5th. Remy Dransgen, who organises the Polish Championship and has been on the world scene for a long time now, he is in the 6th place. 7th is Steve Gray, but George Lovell must surely be sort of a little bit concerned about that 8th. However, if anyone can race himself around the problem, it's probably George Lovell. He's another from the South Coast karting team down there in Bournemouth, South Coast Karting, and one of the Lovell boys running the place down there. George Lovell, of course, former Super 1 champion back in the 90s. Seeming quite a long time ago now that he's running in 8th. However, we saw him challenging for a win earlier on. So George Lovell, it's not that he's bad, it's just not worked out on this one. He is 0.8 of a second behind the pole position starter, which is Wotjek Grzyb. And Wotjek Grzyb, who we know is the Polish gearbox kart champion from 2017. Now, they're going to come around. It's Grzyb who's leading them around to begin this race. From Brandon Williams and Michael Weddell. Weddell, of course, mini champion of Scotland, and what's Grzyb going to do on the start? He's been hit already by Brandon Williams, being pushed along by Brandon Williams. The start's given, and it's going to be a tight one. Now, will things kick off here? They are very nose-tail. Somewhere down the lineup, it's going to get heavy, and as they pile into that hairpin, we have a little bit of pushing and shoving, but nothing serious. Fairly clean getaway in the circumstances, Spanners.
Very surprising. I've never seen Weddell drive that cleanly, and I have to say he's my least favourite driver in the championship. But yeah, a nice clean start from everyone.
Excellent. Well, he obviously was realising that you were going to be saying something about him, so thought he'd clean it up for this one. Weddell, of course, is running 3rd. There he is. It is Wotjek Grzyb in the lead, though. He's been chased down by Brandon Williams. There's less than half a second in it, and only half a second back to Weddell, so this is still a very close race. This is still a first-to-last group. It's not broken up yet at all.
I definitely know how to say the leader's name, but there are no vowels in there at all. Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Wotjek Grzyb.
Probably not, but okay,
yeah.
we'll roll with that.
It's about the closest we're going to get to today. So Wotjek Grzyb continues in the lead, a little bit wide coming through the finish, the final corner there. But Brandon Williams is still only 0.3 of a second. They're pulling away slightly from Weddell. Weddell is 1 second back from the leader. Williams, though, is staying with the Polish driver, Grzyb, the Polish gearbox champion. Obviously a completely different sort of kart to indoor, but he's able to drive an indoor kart as well as he can drive outdoor by the looks of things here, Spanners.
Wondering how Weddell's getting on with his kart, because he's looking very busy on the steering wheel and has definitely got one eye over his shoulder there hang on, who's behind him? Englicky. What
right.
is this grid?
The Czech driver, Lukas Englicky. He was national champion in the Czech Republic last year, was Lukas Englicky. He's all over the back of Michael Weddell, but Williams is definitely taking the fight to Wotjek Grzyb for the lead. Wotjek Grzyb is coming around the fast turn and heading towards the long backstretch, and going with him is Brandon Williams, and they've got Weddell and Englicky following them down the backstretch.
Weddell very, very defensive, and I think he's going to have
defensive.
Yeah, still being defensive. They're still catching the front two.
Absolutely. Well, they're still 1.1 second behind as they cross the line. Will that have come down? We'll have a look. No, it's actually gone up. It's now 1.2 seconds. Someone in the pit. It is the 9, and that, of course, is Remy Draska. Remy Draska is going to drop down to last place. Remy Draska has been on the world scene for a long time. He was actually 20th in this championship last year, Remy Draska. He's, of course, as we've said many times, the organiser of the Polish Championship, just like the BRKC here, but in Poland. Very popular one, that one. Probably won last year by Ruben Buitens. And
may as well assume that.
Might as well have won it.
It's a good stop from him, though, so he's given himself a chance, I think.
Yeah, so probably won by Ruben Buitens. But the thing with Remy Draska is anyone who's here today, if they feel like doing a European Championship and they've not done one before, the Polish one is a good one to start at. And Remy Draska down there, currently in 10th place, is the man to talk to. Very approachable, of course, though you might have a job asking him right now.
Yes, he's going very fast around the go-kart track at the moment. That would be logistically difficult. We're not seeing Weddell fall off the back, though, are we? Even with the defence that he's having to put up. So it's a fine balance between sacrificing your own racing line and your own lap time and then seeing those front two disappear, because I think Weddell, without that pressure, he's on the pace of the front two.
Yeah, I mean, the gap's opened up to 1.5 seconds, and it's the biggest it's been all race, but Weddell isn't exactly giving it away, is it? It's I mean, I think was there some contact there going through the...
With Weddell, yeah, definitely will be at some point.
From Englicky. But here come the leaders. It's Grzyb from Williams, and look how Williams is keeping it tight. Williams is really giving Grzyb a run for his money. This is Brandon Williams. He was a champion with Cobkart Sport last year, and he's showing why in this race.
He's in the pits. He's decided he's losing too much time behind Weddell, and he's going to take his chances, and I think he's going to come out in a very big gap.
And one person to pay attention to, George Lovell has now taken 5th place. George Lovell, who we were saying started well out of place, he's up into 5th now. And when we're looking on the straight there, we'll probably see, so that's Grzyb from Williams. Further back, whereabouts is Lovell? He's a little way back, but it's not out of the woods yet. He's 5 seconds away from leader. Someone else in the pits. We've got a pit visit as one of the front runners.
Weddell.
20, Michael Weddell.
So he's responded.
Yes, he has. The Scottish mini champion is back to racing karts, and he's trying to respond here. How's he going to work out? Is he going to come out ahead? He's got to, oh, he's going to be tight. Can he hold him off? He's going to try and get him around the outside as Weddell holds off Englicky. Does he do it? Yes, he does. Weddell manages to stay ahead, but my goodness, Lukas Englicky certainly gave him a run for his money there, Spanners.
It's as you were. Yeah, that's as close as it could be. But they're coming up against Parker now, who hasn't pitted, and Parker, mentioned in dispatches for the last lap performance, is throwing it around and pushing very hard. So I don't think it's going to be straightforward to get past him.
Not at all. Parker's running up there in 7th, and I'm sure he plans on staying there. So if they do catch him, he'll make him work for it. Grzyb is still leading. It's 0.3 of a second lead over Williams, and of course that lead's going to concertina up and down in various parts of the track.
Well, Parker
Slawek Piskorz in 3rd and George Lovell in 4th. Carry on, Spanish.
I beg your pardon, I got excited there. You're the lead commentator. I do apologise. Parker ended up, what we're calling turn 3, ended up going wide, and both Englicky and Weddell managed to get through. But yeah, Parker just on the edge of adhesion.
Yeah, on the edge of control, obviously, there.
I wasn't going to say control, but
he's right on the edge. I mean, to be honest with you, that's going to bring it out in somebody. This championship is such a high standard. It's very tough. We don't know much about Matthew Parker, except he's from Derby. He's not someone we've seen before, but he's putting in a decent show because he has been running up there with him. So we'll see what he can give us for the rest of it. Now here's Slawek Piskorz on screen. Slawek Piskorz, very well known for also taking plenty of pictures. He provides him, is there someone in the pits? It looks like Lovell. George Lovell in the pits. From 4th place.
He's timed that well.
How's it looking for George Lovell?
Yeah,
is it
really good
stop?
through the first timing beams, but he's coming out in an awkward spot. Is he going to get in the way? Yes, very much so.
Dear.
Got in the way of the number 9 car of Draska.
Oh, Remy Draska won't like that. George Lovell, if he wants to do the Polish Championship next year, can find his...
You know, we were saying most of the guys
race.
stay really tight. Maybe not quite so tight coming out of the pit lane.
Absolutely, and Draska, in fact, has taken George Lovell. So Remy Draska didn't stop behind him, he actually managed to take him. So maybe it's not worked out quite perfectly for George Lovell there. Looking at it, it wasn't a bad pit stop though. It was a 10-second stop. Change for the lead.
Now have a look at turn 6.
It's Brandon Williams leads. Brandon Williams has actually taken the lead. There they are. Brandon Williams, unseen by us, has taken the lead from Wotjek Grzyb. And there's Williams. He's the Kovkart champion at the moment, the reigning champion, and he could well be going on to, you know, make a debut win in the BRKC as well. Look at him go there, Spanners. He's looking pretty convincing, but Grzyb is all over him.
So just before that happened, I was going to say, look at Englicky and his tactics behind Weddell into what I'm calling turn 6 by race control. There seems to be contact lap after lap. Definitely wants Weddell to know he's there just before they go onto the back straight. It's this sort of area here, just as they disappear behind the pit, and also coming into the final turn. But Englicky's certainly playing some kind of mind game behind Weddell.
Absolutely. And we had another pit visitor there. I'm not quite sure who that was. Was it Parker? But anyway, meantime, look at this. Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is right there with Grzyb right on his tail. So Brandon Williams is leading the way, but Grzyb is only, what, 0.2 of a second behind. Now, we've not really seen Grzyb have to fight for it as such. We don't know what sort of driver he is. Is he going to be pushing and shoving? Well, he's really close. Look at that overhead shot. Now, they're coming up to a back marker. Someone's going to be going a lap down. Which one is it?
Well, it's Parker again.
It's Parker, okay, who's running 10th.
And through that lap, that turn 3, Parker gets very sideways, so that's the obvious opportunity for them to get past. Does Parker have to give it up? Is he
he will do, but he won't know about that till he gets onto the back stretch. He's waved him through there.
Yeah, he's got blue flags.
Through. He's waving them through as a pair, so very decent there by Parker. He's not holding them up in any means, but it is still Williams, and Williams is hanging on there desperately ahead of Wotjek Grzyb. Wotjek Grzyb is in second place there, and they are sort of within sight of Slawek Piskorz, who's third, and that could get very interesting indeed. I think Slawek Piskorz has actually made up quite a bit of time on these two leaders. That's just 5 minutes in. So there's the leaders.
He's yet to pit though.
There is Piskorz.
Piskorz yet to pit, I understand.
Yeah, oh, that's true.
No, so the two leaders, in fact, well, Weddell and Englicky would naturally be up there in 3rd and 4th, wouldn't they? Oh, wow, yeah. So Piskorz has got 12 seconds back to Weddell. So Weddell is probably holding up Englicky even on the way down there. But they're coming up to Smith, who hasn't pitted yet. However, they are going to have to pass him on track for position.
Polish veteran Slawek Piskorz is pulling an absolute blinder here. He's closing in on the leaders, and Slawek Piskorz has got it all on a GoPro as well, so you might see that on Facebook and YouTube. And also Slawek Piskorz is trying his best to close on the leaders. They're fighting away, only 0.3 of a second apart, but Piskorz is now 3 seconds away, and this could be something if Piskorz can close in. He's catching up to the number 12, which of course is Parker. So Piskorz needs to get ahead of Parker, but this would be to put him a lap down. So Parker's probably going to wave him past. We've seen him do that with the leaders. Piskorz is now on to Parker. Well, he's dropped a little bit on that lap to the leaders, but can he actually close in? They're only 0.2 apart, those leaders now.
So Piskorz has benefited from not being in a battle, whereas Williams has been, and Weddell has been, and Englicky has been. Gray, I think, when he pits, will come out behind Englicky as well. So I think that will be the top 6 when it shakes out.
Absolutely, and there's Greg Smith in 5th place, and while we're looking here at the two leaders, it's Williams leading Grzyb at the moment. Piskorz has now dropped to 4 seconds back, so Piskorz has somehow lost a bit of time. He's got clear now of the back marker Parker. Parker did wave him through, so there's nothing really he could have done to assist that. But Piskorz is now 4 seconds behind. It may well be that Piskorz is now starting to lose time. Look in the timing screen, the two leaders have upped their pace. They're on 33 dead and Piskorz is on 33.4, and that's the best anyone else can do too.
You know, Weddell and Englicky have really been hurt by pitting early, and they are now stuck behind Smith, and I don't think Smith is showing any signs of getting out of the way, nor does he have to.
Yeah, it's a risk that this time has not paid off. Weddell and Englicky, they were sort of responding to each other more than anything, and they've now stuck themselves behind Smith. So really, Weddell and Englicky, it was worth the shot, but it hasn't quite paid off on this one. Piskorz is still continuing to lose a little bit of time. He's up to his pace, but it's not quite to the same standard that the two in front of him are. Piskorz, of course, running 3rd. Here he is. He's obviously doing his best, but the two leaders are continuing to up the game. Grzyb, a mere 0.2 second in 2nd place.
They're being awfully well behaved in that 5-cart battle between Smith, Weddell, Englicky. Grzyb, he has pulled a blinder actually by pitting early on as well, and he's pulled himself right up to the back of Englicky, and then also Lovell involved in that battle.
Absolutely, and Remy Drazga there, he pitted as early as he possibly could, and that may well have been what's made the race for him. An inspired choice. He, of course, has the experience, especially at international level involving pit stops, so there's probably few around here who know better than Remy Drazga went to pit, and it's worked to his advantage. But it's getting pretty cagey here. This is a titanic battle now, headed by, is it Smith who's heading that lot?
Yes, it is, but Smith is yet to pit.
Smith and Weddell, he's yet to pit. There's Weddell, there's Englicky, there's Drazga, there's Lovell in that mix there. There's George Lovell at the back of that little gaggle. In fact, there's a change, is there?
There's contact. Weddell's pushed himself
How's that going to shape off? Weddell, in fact, has taken the spot, as you say, Spanners. So a bit of a gutsy move there by Weddell. Hopefully it'll be deemed clean. Does bundle Smith back one into the clutch of Englicky. George Lovell's moved up a place as well. I think
Englicky's ended up at the back of that.
Englicky's actually fallen right the way back on that, in that kerfuffle there. George Lovell, we're seeing with the green side to his helmet. He's looking really good out there. He's trying to work his way through from a bad starting position. Here's that big battle, and well, it looks like Weddell's actually trying to pull away. There's another pass position, a bit of a gutsy one. That's Remy Drazga, of course, and Remy Drazga has got his sights firmly on Michael Weddell. Weddell's going to have to drive his heart out now because Remy Drazga is coming for him. George Lovell has also made up a place, and he's trying to follow Drazga. Somebody's waving.
I mean, we're getting very close to pit o'clock, aren't we? We're getting close to the point where, I don't know, where are these leaders going to come out? They have got trouble behind them. They're not clear of Steve.
Well, what's going to happen straight away is that they'll come out right next to Steve Gray. But more importantly, they are comfortably clear of Weddell. Comfortably clear of Weddell, so it won't really hurt them because Gray's yet to pit either. So you know, I think it wouldn't be bad. The worst that would happen is they come out side by side with Gray, who does have to make a pit stop. But the most important factor is they will be well ahead of the Weddell, Drazga, Lovell, Englicky and Smith fight, which will be the scary part of all this.
Well, Gray's got a GoPro, so the best case scenario is the leaders pit and come up just in front of him, so he's got some great footage as they close in on the finish line.
Oh, he'll have the prime seat for that one, won't he? That'll be the GoPro.
Can we get a message to Gray to slow down by 1 second so that the leaders are clear?
Yeah, helpful. We've got someone in the pits. Who is that? I think it's Smith, isn't it? It's Smith. It's Greg Smith there.
So that's Smith's second attempt.
Yeah, Smith obviously picked up a penalty. It's very easy to go too soon. In the heat of the moment, you've got to make up time. You've got to take liberties, but you can't break the beam. At this level, if you're just trying to do it fair and square, conservative, you know, you're not really going to make the inroads you need to make. Talking of making inroads, there's nothing to be split between these two, and Slawek Piskorz is falling away. He's now 5.7 seconds behind, but he still is in third place, which, you know, is probably as good as it's going to get at the moment.
Weddell has shaken off the challenge of Englicky, but he's now got Drazga very much in the same window, and number 15, Smith, has come in. He missed the first timing beam, so he's now coming in for his penalty pit stop. Yeah, that's going to hurt Smith. It's dropped him to last. Parker's moved up ahead, and so Smith and Parker are a lap down, but Parker's running 9th, and Greg Smith is, unfortunately, by having to make a second pit stop because they weren't comfortable with the first one, has dropped down to 10th place. Unlucky there for Greg Smith. So there's Michael Weddell that we're seeing now. He's got Remy Drazga right in his tail. Over with the leaders as Smith. Now on the back stretch here, here's Michael Weddell, and here comes Remy Drazga. Down the back straight then, looking into that turn. George Lovell's trying to stay there with him. And behind Lovell it's Englicky, so Lovell's not without his own problems, but Lovell's seriously looking at the back of Drazga and Weddell as they work on each other. So this is a tough one, Spanners. I mean, this could go in any direction here. Well, exactly. It depends how Englicky responds. Obviously, he lost out about 4 places. Oh, he got a pit stop. Sorry, yeah. So from the, it's Wotjek Grzyb. Wotjek Grzyb went into the pits, and Wotjek Grzyb was in the pits there and has dropped to 3rd place behind Slawek Piskorz. So what does Williams do now? Does he respond straight away? Williams needs to keep being fast. That's what he's got to do. He's got to keep being fast. There's only 3.5 minutes or whatever left. And so Williams needs to stay quick, because if he doesn't, Grzyb will be quick and will leapfrog him in the pits. Williams is in now. Let's have a look at him. Yeah, here's Williams. First time this is crucial. It's going to make or break the race. He definitely took a risk there, trying to start from quite a bit back from the green light and before putting his foot down. And he seems to have cut them both just, and it's done enough. And well, it's hard to imagine cut any finer than that, and he is bang on 10 seconds. And there's Slawek Piskorz was in the pits as well, so everyone is now pitted. Williams comes out with a lead of 0.8 of a second, but Williams couldn't have cut it finer. He was
just bang on the 10 seconds mark there, and that is some of the fastest pit stopping we've seen. You know, that's outstanding there, Spanners, but it's what he had to do.
Yeah, there was a big gap actually between Williams and behind, and that has been closed up straight away. But you can definitely see that Williams had the best of the pit stops.
Brandon Williams, of course, he sees this as his big chance to win a British Random Kart Championship heat race, and he's definitely taking it. But Wotjek Grzyb, who's already won, you know, he won an earlier race against Logan Sune, of all people, and Wotjek Grzyb seriously is someone to consider. So it's not over yet for Brandon Williams. He's got over 2 minutes remaining, and that's going to be 2 minutes of solid pressure. He's been run wide there as Grzyb has a look to the left, but it's not going to happen on that part. But certainly Williams is under the maximum pressure he could be under at this stage of the race. Williams
has gone defensive down the back straight, and I think that put him out of shape through the hairpin and then through this final section, and that ensured he was going to be under pressure across the start-finish line, and he still is through turn 6, through the very tight, twisty section.
Steve Gray, the final. Oh, Steve Gray was the final pit stop when he's come out in the middle of the battle, and that's what all the kerfuffle was about. It was Steve Gray coming out of the pits off speed because he's exiting the pits, and it's caused a massive logjam in the middle there. It's all kicking off. That's the Gray from Grzyb, from Lovell, from Englicky and Parker battle, and my goodness, Englicky obviously at the back of that, so I think I got one too far. But there's Weddell, and there's Gray, and there's Grzyb. Well, let's see how this shapes up. I think George Lovell's made up a place. It could be George Lovell. So, yes, it's Lovell has made up a place on Remy Grzyb. So, a great show by George Lovell. And we're almost at the end now. We've only got a minute to go. So, Brandon Williams leads still with only 0.1 of a second. And this surely is going to be the last lap. They're crossing the line now. And look at Grzyb. He's pushing Williams across the line. There's nothing to choose between these two. And the Weddell battle rages on the screen as we see. Michael Weddell battling for 4th place. The Scottish mini champion is in 4th. And he's got Steve Gray, George Lovell, Remy Grzyb, the Lukas Englicky with him. And on the lead battle now, this is surely the final lap. Brandon Williams are on the back stretch. Williams goes so defensive there to the inside. He's blocking out any chance Grzyb has, but Grzyb could switch back at him. Grzyb tries it, but it's not going to work. But he's going to try the left here, see if he can get a better drive out the corner. The flag's coming out. It's going to be the win for Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams, one of the Cobs Kart Sport champions, has just about beaten Wotjek Grzyb to the win there, and Slawek Piskorz is going to come through a very worthy 3rd place. And it was Michael Weddell from George Lovell in 5th, Steve Gray in 6th, Remy Grzyb 7th, and Lukas Englicky in 8th. What can we say? After that, of course, finishing was Matt Parker there, and poor old Greg Smith was forced back to 10th place. He had to make an extra pit stop for pit lane infringement. So, what a race that was. The closest finish we've seen so far this year. Brandon Williams absorbing enormous pressure to snatch that victory there from the Polish champion Wotjek Grzyb. Right, so there's Brandon Williams. Hopefully we'll be going over to Spanners for words with some of the drivers.
I missed the overtake. Well, well done. Where did you overtake?
At the bottom.
Ah, right, great. Well, have a chat with Sim. Thanks for joining us in the pits. I've got race winner Brandon Williams. Now, you were in 2nd place. Some people would have waited for the pit stop. You made it happen on track.
Yeah, he was defending quite a lot, so I knew if I had to get by him, it had to be when he wasn't expecting it. So down the straight, he looked behind me. I was a bit too far back, but I just went for it, sent it up the inside, and managed to make it stick.
And then your pit stop was pretty perfect. You actually came out with a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, it's just a bit of practice really, makes it happen.
It's not like you had a huge amount of pace on him. When you were in front, you found yourself going defensive as well.
Yeah, I think it was the same either way. He wasn't at his full potential when I was behind him, so he was defending, and then the same vice versa. Whoever's at the back's going to be the quickest because they're not defending.
Hey, a race win here, no mean feat. You've got to be delighted.
yeah, I can't ask for more.
Good race win there from Brendan Williams. Thank you so much for giving us a great race to watch as well. I'm going to run back up there and get a sandwich.
So yeah, a wonderful race there. One from, well, Brandon Williams there had it. He took it from Wotjek Grzyb. Slawek Piskorz came in third. So what a showing by those guys there. So we're going to be moving to the final heat race now for this round. This is the 10th heat race, and so this is the now everyone is completing their second run. So we're going to be looking through here. I think we've got an adjustment to this one. James Martin, of course, a non-starter. His dog unfortunately had to go into surgery, so that ruled out James Martin. He was a sort of mid-table finisher last year, so poor old James Martin not able to take his place. However, drafted in at the very last minute, Jessica Alexander. Well, good grief, she's set a local lap record on Thursday night and then had to drive all the way down here. She's not driven the